Welcome back to the channel. Pocket Change Coins. If you've been following along with our previous videos, you already know how exciting it can be to find hidden gems in your coin collection or even in your everyday change. Well, today we've got an especially exciting story about a coin that might be sitting in your collection, or even your pocket, right now. Yes, we're talking about the United States 1-cent Lincoln penny from 1966. Now, I know what you're thinking: pennies are small, common, and not usually worth much. But this specific penny from 1966 could actually be worth a small fortune. The Lincoln penny is one of the most iconic and beloved coins in U.S. history, having been in circulation since 1909. It's a coin that almost everyone has seen or used at some point, and it's often dismissed as just loose change. But don't be fooled, there are certain years, like the 1966 penny, that have become highly sought after by collectors, and they can fetch significant amounts of money under the right circumstances. The 1966 Lincoln penny is especially interesting because, while it's not a particularly rare coin in terms of overall mintage, certain factors make it highly valuable to collectors today. This penny, like most from the 1960s, was minted during a time of significant change in U.S. currency production. The 1960s saw the U.S. Mint undergoing various transitions, including the shift from silver to copper in many of the country's coins. This means that coins from this era can have certain characteristics that make them stand out. The design of the 1966 Lincoln penny is the same as other pennies from the era. On the obverse, you'll find the classic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, created by sculptor Victor David Brenner. On the reverse side, you'll see the familiar design of the Lincoln Memorial, which was introduced in 1959 to honor the 16th President of the United States. These two designs have made the Lincoln penny one of the most recognizable and enduring coins in American history. However, the value of the 1966 Lincoln penny doesn't come from its design alone. In fact, the real key to its value lies in the condition of the coin and the potential for minting errors. Like any coin, the better the condition, the higher its value. Most pennies from 1966, like many other coins from that time, were heavily circulated and are now in a worn condition. However, if you happen to find one in uncirculated or mint condition, it could be worth far more than just 1 cent. Collectors place a high value on coins that have remained in excellent condition, as these coins are rare to find. The key to determining whether your 1966 Lincoln penny might be valuable is by checking its condition. Coins that are well preserved, with sharp details and minimal wear, are much more desirable to collectors. If you've got a 1966 penny that looks almost brand new, without the usual scratches, discoloration, or dents from circulation, then you may have a rare find on your hands. But there's more to it than just finding a well-preserved penny. Minting errors can also play a huge role in determining the value of a coin. Minting errors are mistakes that happen during the production process, leading to unique characteristics that can make a coin extremely valuable. These errors can include things like off-center strikes, double dies, or die cracks, each of which can make a coin unique and highly desirable to collectors. For example, a 1966 Lincoln penny that was struck off-center or has a double die error could be worth much more than a standard, well-preserved coin. These errors are rare, and finding one is a thrill for any serious collector. Coins with these types of mistakes are often one of a kind, and that rarity is what drives up their value. So, what can a 1966 Lincoln penny be worth if it's in great condition or has a minting error? You might be surprised to learn that a well-preserved 1966 penny, or one with a rare minting error, can be worth a significant amount of money. Most 1966 pennies, even those in good condition, are worth only a few cents over face value. But the truly special ones, the uncirculated examples or those with minting errors, can fetch a price that will blow you away. The value of a 1966 Lincoln penny with great condition or a minting error can be worth as much as $44,000. Yes, you read that correctly, $44,000 for a single penny. This price is not for just any 1966 penny, of course. It's for the rare and highly sought-after examples that have either remained in pristine, uncirculated condition or those that feature a minting error. It's hard to believe that a coin worth only 1 cent could end up being worth so much, but that's the power of rare coins in the world of numismatics. So, if you have a 1966 Lincoln penny tucked away in your collection or a jar of loose change, it's time to take a closer look. You might be holding onto something incredibly valuable. If you come across a well-preserved example or one with a minting error, you could have a small fortune on your hands. Whether you're an experienced coin collector or just getting started, this is a great reminder of how something as ordinary as a penny can hold extraordinary value. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating finds that could be sitting in your collection or hiding in a jar of loose change. Yes, we're talking about the 1961 Lincoln penny. At first glance, you might think, it's just another penny, right? Well, let me tell you, this particular penny could actually be worth far more than its face value, and we're about to explore why. The Lincoln penny has been an iconic part of U.S. currency since its debut in 1909. It features the bust of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and has long been a symbol of the American spirit. For decades, this small coin has circulated across the country, passing through millions of hands and becoming an essential part of daily life. But certain years, such as 1961, have turned out to be a bit more special than others, especially when it comes to coin collecting. The 1961 Lincoln penny was minted during a unique period in U.S. history. By the early 1960s, the country was experiencing significant political and social change. But what's more interesting in the context of numismatics is the shift that was happening with U.S. currency. While the nation was moving away from the use of silver in many coins, the 1961 penny was made from 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it that distinctive weight and look we're all familiar with. The design of the coin remained unchanged from earlier years, with President Lincoln's portrait on the front and the familiar 1 cent inscription on the reverse, surrounded by a simple wheat stalk design. This design had been in use for decades, and it would remain until 1959, when it was replaced with the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But here's the interesting part: although millions of 1961 pennies were minted, not all of them were created equal. Like many coins from the 1960s, the vast majority of these pennies saw heavy circulation. They were passed around in countless transactions, exposed to wear and tear from time, and often damaged in the process. Because of this, finding a 1961 penny in excellent condition, let alone in uncirculated condition, is incredibly rare. Coins that have been preserved in near-mint condition have a much higher value to collectors, and that's where the potential for big profits comes in. You might be wondering, what makes a 1961 Lincoln penny worth anything at all? Well, the key factors that determine a coin's value are its rarity, condition, and the possibility of a minting error. Most coins from this era, including the 1961 Lincoln penny, have been worn down by years of circulation. The ones that survived in uncirculated or near-perfect condition, however, are worth a lot more than you might expect. But it doesn't end there. Minting errors can also significantly increase the value of a coin. In fact, some 1961 pennies are known to have minor errors, like double dies or off-center strikes, which can make them even more desirable to collectors. Now, let's talk about how these errors work. A minting error occurs when something goes wrong during the production process. For example, a double die error happens when the design is stamped onto the coin more than once, causing the image to appear blurry or doubled. An off-center strike occurs when the coin is not aligned properly during the minting process, resulting in part of the design being cut off or misaligned. These types of errors are incredibly rare, and finding a 1961 penny with one of these mistakes could mean that you have a coin worth much more than its face value. So, just how much could a 1961 Lincoln penny be worth? Well, while most of these coins are worth only a few cents, those in excellent condition or with a rare minting error can command impressive prices. A 1961 Lincoln penny in uncirculated condition could easily fetch a nice price, and if you're lucky enough to have one with a minting error, you might be sitting on something even more valuable. And now, for the big reveal. A 1961 Lincoln penny, especially one that's in pristine, uncirculated condition or has a rare minting error, could be worth an eye-popping $47,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $47,000 for a single penny. This may sound unbelievable, but it's true. In the world of coin collecting, certain pennies, like the 1961 Lincoln penny, can be worth far more than their face value, especially if they are in exceptional condition or have unique errors. Imagine walking into a coin shop or auction and finding out that your 1961 penny is worth a fortune. It's an exciting thought, and for collectors, it's a dream come true. That's the beauty of coin collecting. There's always the chance that a simple coin, like a penny, can be worth so much more than you expect. And the best part is that these rare coins can be found by anyone. You don't need to be an expert or have a vast collection to uncover a hidden treasure. Sometimes, it's just about knowing what to look for and being patient enough to find it. So, if you have a 1961 Lincoln penny sitting in your collection, or even in your jar of loose change, it's time to take a closer look. You could be holding onto something incredibly valuable. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a beginner, there's always something thrilling about the possibility of finding that rare coin that could change everything. Today, we're going to talk about a very special coin that could be sitting in your collection or even in your spare change, and it's one you won't want to overlook, the 1960 Lincoln penny. Now, you might be thinking, it's just another penny, right? But let me tell you, this penny from 1960 could actually be worth far more than you ever imagined. In fact, if you have the right kind of 1960 penny, it could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. The Lincoln penny has been a part of U.S. currency since 1909, and it remains one of the most iconic coins in American history. The coin features the bust of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and, on the reverse, originally showcased a pair of wheat stalks. This wheat design was used until 1958, when it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial in honor of the 16th president. But what makes the 1960 Lincoln penny stand out in particular? Well, there's more to this penny than meets the eye. First, let's talk about the material. The 1960 Lincoln penny was still made primarily from copper, just like most pennies that came before it. It weighs about 3.11 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter, nothing out of the ordinary in terms of size and weight. However, the significance of the 1960 penny lies in its place in the evolution of U.S. coinage and its relatively low-key production in comparison to some other years. While the 1960s were a period of change in U.S. coin production, the 1960 Lincoln penny is often overlooked, and that's where the real potential for hidden value lies. So, how does this seemingly common penny turn into a potential fortune? The answer lies in both its rarity and condition. While the United States Mint produced millions of 1960 pennies, the vast majority of these coins went through the rigors of daily circulation. They were passed through countless hands, used in all kinds of transactions, and exposed to years of wear and tear. Finding a 1960 Lincoln penny in excellent, uncirculated condition is no small feat, and that's where the value begins to increase. If you're lucky enough to come across a 1960 penny that's been carefully preserved or one that's remained in mint condition, you could be holding onto a coin that's worth far more than just 1 cent. A coin's condition is one of the most important factors in determining its value. Coins that show little to no signs of wear, meaning they don't have scratches, discoloration, or other damage, are considered uncirculated or mint-state coins, and they are much more valuable to collectors. So, if you've got a 1960 Lincoln penny that looks almost as good as the day it was minted, it could be worth a small fortune. But here's where things get really interesting. The 1960 Lincoln penny is also a coin that can sometimes show up with minting errors, which make it even more valuable. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the coin's production process, creating unique characteristics that make it stand out from the rest of the coins produced at the same time. These errors can come in many forms, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or even cracks and chips in the die that create interesting and rare features on the coin. For collectors, finding a 1960 penny with one of these minting errors is like finding a treasure in the rough. Error coins are highly desirable because they are unique and can be worth much more than their face value. Now, let's talk about some of the specific errors that might make your 1960 penny even more valuable. One of the most well-known errors from this year is the double die error, which occurs when the coin is struck twice by the die, causing the design to appear doubled. These coins are highly prized by collectors because they are incredibly rare and visually striking. If you happen to have a 1960 penny with a double die error, it could be worth significantly more than a standard, uncirculated penny. Another error to keep an eye out for is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, resulting in part of the coin's design being cut off. An off-center 1960 Lincoln penny can make for an eye-catching and highly valuable piece of numismatic history. As you can see, even a small imperfection can turn a relatively common coin into something incredibly valuable. So, how much could a 1960 Lincoln penny actually be worth? You might be shocked by the answer. A 1960 penny in mint condition, or one with a rare minting error, can be worth far more than a few cents. In fact, a 1960 Lincoln penny, in exceptional condition or with a rare minting error, could be worth an astounding $48,000. Yes, you heard that right, $48,000 for a single penny. It's hard to believe that something so small could be worth so much, but that's the magic of coin collecting. You just never know when you might stumble upon a coin that's far more valuable than its face value. Now, before you start searching through your coin collection or digging through your loose change, keep in mind that not every 1960 Lincoln penny will be worth $48,000. But if you happen to have a well-preserved example or one with a rare minting error, you could be holding a rare gem worth thousands of dollars. The key is in knowing what to look for and understanding that even the most ordinary coins can become valuable pieces of history. So, if you've got a 1960 Lincoln penny lying around, it's time to take a closer look. You could be sitting on a small fortune without even realizing it. Whether you're an experienced collector or just starting to explore the world of numismatics, always keep your eyes peeled for those rare finds. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and your next big discovery could be just around the corner. Today, because we're about to dive into the world of one of the most iconic coins in American history, the 1945 Lincoln penny. At first glance, this little penny may seem like just another small coin from the past, but trust me, it could be worth far more than you ever expected. If you thought pennies were just a dime a dozen, this video will completely change your perspective, as we'll explore how a simple 1945 Lincoln penny can be worth thousands of dollars today. The Lincoln penny, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, has been a staple in U.S. currency for over a century. It is a coin rich in history, with its design remaining largely unchanged for most of the 20th century. The 1945 penny is no exception. On the obverse side, you'll find a classic image of President Lincoln, with his familiar profile looking to the right. The reverse of the penny features the iconic wheat stalks, a design that was in place from 1909 until 1958, when it was replaced with the Lincoln Memorial. Now, let's rewind a bit and consider the time when the 1945 Lincoln penny was minted. The world was in the midst of World War II, and the United States was going through significant changes. The war had an impact on the economy, and the U.S. government was focusing all its efforts on supporting the war effort. While this might not seem like it would have much to do with coins, the effects of the war were felt in the production of U.S. currency. In fact, certain coins from this time period, especially the 1945 penny, have become quite valuable due to their unique history and the role they played in this turbulent time. So, what makes the 1945 Lincoln penny so special, and why could it be worth so much more than its face value? Well, there are a few key factors that contribute to the value of this coin. First, we have to consider the rarity of the coin. While millions of 1945 pennies were minted, over the years, many of them were lost, damaged, or destroyed. Coins that are in pristine condition, those that have remained uncirculated and untouched by the wear and tear of everyday use, are much harder to find. So, if you happen to have a 1945 Lincoln penny that's in excellent condition, you may have a rare find on your hands, but what about the coins that weren't so lucky and made it through circulation? Well, if you take a closer look, you might just find that there's more than meets the eye with certain 1945 pennies. One of the most interesting aspects of this particular coin is the possibility of minting errors. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process, and they can create coins with unique characteristics that set them apart from the rest. Some 1945 pennies have been found with misstrikes, double dies, or even off-center impressions, which can make them far more valuable than a standard coin. For example, a double die error occurs when the coin is struck more than once, causing the design to appear doubled. This can result in a much more dramatic and visually striking appearance, which collectors are willing to pay a premium for. Similarly, an off-center strike happens when the coin is not aligned properly during the minting process, leading to a design that is misaligned or partially missing. Both of these errors are highly sought after by collectors, and a 1945 Lincoln penny with one of these errors can fetch a much higher price than a standard, run-of-the-mill coin. But the value of the 1945 penny isn't just about its condition or the possibility of minting errors, it's also about the historical significance of the coin. The 1945 penny was minted at a time when the world was deeply affected by the events of World War II. For many collectors, owning a coin from such a pivotal time in history gives it added sentimental and historical value. The connection to a time of global upheaval and the sacrifices made by the American people during the war only add to the allure of these coins. Now, let's get to the exciting part: how much is a 1945 Lincoln penny actually worth? As we've already mentioned, the value of a coin depends on several factors, including its condition, rarity, and any potential minting errors. A regular 1945 Lincoln penny in good condition might only be worth a few cents, but if you've got one in uncirculated or mint condition, you could be looking at a coin worth far more than just 1 cent. But here's the big surprise: if your 1945 penny is in outstanding condition or has a rare minting error, it could be worth an incredible $53,000. That's right, $53,000 for a single penny. Now, you may be wondering how such a small coin could be worth such a large amount, but that's the magic of coin collecting. The rarity of uncirculated coins, combined with the potential for minting errors, can result in prices that seem almost too good to be true. Imagine finding a 1945 penny in your collection or in a roll of coins you pick up at the bank, only to discover that it could be worth thousands of dollars. It's a thrilling thought, and for many collectors, it's a dream come true. But remember, finding one of these rare pennies isn't easy. You'll need to carefully inspect your coins, look for signs of minting errors, and pay close attention to the overall condition of the coin. If you happen to come across a 1945 Lincoln penny with the right attributes, it could change your life. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a casual hobbyist, there's always the chance that you could uncover a hidden treasure. Coins from this era are not just valuable because of their rarity, they're also highly prized for the piece of history they represent. The 1945 Lincoln penny is more than just a coin, it's a tangible link to a moment in time when the world was at war and the country was doing everything it could to support the effort. So, the next time you're sorting through your coins or searching through your collection, don't overlook that 1945 penny. It could be more valuable than you think. And who knows? You could be sitting on a piece of numismatic history worth $53,000. Today, we've got an exciting topic for you. If you've ever thought that pennies are just small, insignificant coins that don't hold much value, think again. The United States 1-cent Lincoln penny from 1973 may just surprise you. While it might seem like just another coin from the 1970s, this little penny could actually be worth far more than its face value. In fact, this seemingly ordinary coin might be worth a small fortune depending on a few key factors. So, let's dive into the world of the 1973 Lincoln penny and uncover just how much this coin could be worth today. Let's start with some background on the Lincoln penny. The Lincoln penny has been in circulation since 1909 and has been one of the most iconic and widely recognized coins in American currency. The obverse, or front side, of the coin features the bust of President Abraham Lincoln, a lasting tribute to the 16th President of the United States. The reverse side has gone through various designs over the years, but from 1909 until 1958, it featured 2 ears of wheat, which gave the coin its wheat penny nickname. In 1959, the design was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial, which is what we see on the reverse of the 1973 penny, but let's zoom in on the year 1973 and take a closer look at this particular coin. The year 1973 was an interesting one in U.S. history. The country was navigating through the early 1970s, a time of political and economic change. The Vietnam War was winding down, the Watergate scandal was starting to unfold, and there was a lot of uncertainty about the future. While these national events were making headlines, the coinage that was being produced by the U.S. Mint was more mundane, yet still very important. And this is where the story of the 1973 Lincoln penny begins. In terms of design, the 1973 Lincoln penny is pretty standard for the time. The front still features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial, which was the design on pennies from 1959 until 2008. The penny's composition at the time was made of 95% copper, with the remaining 5% being zinc. This was the last year that the U.S. Mint produced pennies with this exact copper content before switching to a different metal composition in 1982. Now, let's address the value of the 1973 Lincoln penny. Like most coins, the value of the 1973 penny largely depends on its condition. The vast majority of 1973 pennies in circulation have experienced the wear and tear of daily life. These coins have been used for everything from vending machine purchases to being tossed in a jar at the end of the day. For these pennies, their value remains close to the 1-cent face value. However, the key to determining the true worth of this coin lies in its rarity and condition. If you're lucky enough to find a 1973 penny that's in uncirculated condition, meaning it hasn't been used in everyday transactions and has been preserved in pristine condition, the value immediately increases. Uncirculated coins are highly sought after by collectors because they represent a piece of history that's remained untouched and undamaged. In addition, the quality of the coin, how well it's been preserved and whether it shows signs of wear, plays a crucial role in its value. Coins that have been kept in excellent condition and free from scratches or discoloration are worth more than those that have been heavily circulated. But there's another factor that could make your 1973 Lincoln penny even more valuable: minting errors. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process, and these errors can lead to unique and rare coins that are highly prized by collectors. Some common minting errors include double dies, where the design is struck twice, creating a doubled image, off-center strikes, where the coin is misaligned during the minting process, and planchet errors, which happen when there is an issue with the blank metal disc that the coin is struck on. If you come across a 1973 penny with one of these rare minting errors, it could greatly increase the coin's value. One particular error that stands out in the world of collectors is the 1973 double die penny. A double die occurs when the coin's design is struck twice, resulting in a doubled appearance. This error is particularly valuable because it's so rare and gives the coin a unique, almost eye-catching appearance. The 1973 double die penny is a great example of how a small error can turn an ordinary coin into something extraordinary. As you can imagine, a coin in mint condition, or with a minting error like the double die, is going to be worth significantly more than a standard penny. So, how much could your 1973 Lincoln penny actually be worth? Well, if you have a 1973 penny that's in fantastic condition, or even better, if it has a rare minting error, you could be holding onto a coin that's worth far more than its face value. For a coin in pristine, uncirculated condition, the value can range from a few dollars to a few $100s. But if your 1973 penny is one of the rare ones with a significant minting error, especially something like the double die, you could be looking at a coin worth an incredible $46,000. Yes, you heard that right, $46,000 for a single penny. While this is an extreme example, it shows just how valuable a rare and well-preserved coin can be. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and you just never know when you might come across a coin that could change your life. So, how can you spot a valuable 1973 Lincoln penny? First, always check the condition of your coins. Look for ones that are shiny and free from damage. If the penny has been kept in a safe place and hasn't been heavily circulated, it might just be worth more than you think. Second, be on the lookout for any minting errors. If you see any unusual features like a doubled image, a misaligned design, or any other imperfections that set the coin apart from the rest, make sure to have it professionally evaluated. You could be sitting on a hidden treasure. In conclusion, while the 1973 Lincoln penny may seem like an ordinary coin, it has the potential to be worth far more than its face value, especially if it's in great condition or has a rare minting error. If you've got a 1973 penny in your collection, it might be time to take a closer look. You could be holding onto a rare piece of history worth $46,000. Thank you for joining us today as we explored the incredible potential value of the 1973 Lincoln penny. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future coin discoveries. Happy collecting, and who knows, you could be the next lucky person to find a coin worth a fortune.